Hey there, my name is Christy Kistler. I'm one of the co-founders of Fin River. I'm actually the mother of the river and Fin River, who's 17 now. I'm here with cider maker Andrew Byers, and we're here to talk about the fall club offering. Since we can't see you here in person, we're going to offer you the tasting virtually. So the Barn Swallow Club is named after the sweet hordes of barn swallows that fly into the farm every summer and build their nests in the barns. And so they're good friends to the fermenting process. So Andrew, tell us what's in the Barn Swallow offering this fall and some secrets perhaps about these fermentations.
All sorts of secrets. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
The Barn Swallow is a curated 3-pack, so we try and put some thought behind what we're showing and what we're combining. And so it's fall, or it will be fall by the time this gets out into the world. And so we have our 3 delightful options. Our botanical, the forest ginger, a classic Fin River orchard series in fire barrel, and then a bit of an innovation from the Crew Selection line called saffron cream. And I'm going to take a quick moment here, pour a little bit, taste a little bit, and throw down some tasting notes so that you all have some framework for what it is that's coming to you this September. Forest ginger. Somewhat self-descriptive, right? Forest and ginger. So we have a mix of fir tips and a bit of fresh ginger root ground up and infused. It steeps and we milk the ginger bag to get more and more and more of that ginger. And it pours a beautiful color and is light and yet tastes like the woods in the forest. And so it hits that mark of refreshing and crisp, but yet thoughtful and a little bit maybe ruminating, which is pretty much what fall is all about. I don't think I can drink fast enough, so I've got some backups.
Tell folks where those fir tips come from.
Oh yeah, so some of the fir tips come from the hills right behind us, the Chimacum Ridge project, and that is with a collaboration, tell me, who do we...
Well, it's Jefferson Land Trust and
There we
some
go.
other conservation organizations working on developing a community working forest model that's sustainably harvested, so we get fir tips from up there.
And then I've got a couple of other local folks who walk through their own woods, and they pick tips off of Doug firs and grand firs and occasionally a little bit of spruce. In the spring, when the tips are just growing green and gentle and have all that kind of citrusy aroma, and then we blend that in with some that are a little bit older, and that brings that pinaceous, resinous kind of combination to it. So getting a little bit of early, a little bit of late season, and a bit of fresh ginger all kind of mixed in there together to build the palate.
Right on.
Fire barrel comes from the orchard that I'm looking at behind the camera right now, and it is a blend of bittersweet apples. And these bittersweets are tannic balls of sugar that create wine that tastes like leather and smoke and deep spice that you can't quite put your finger on. We take that cider and we age it in some whiskey barrels. In this case, a predominance of High West, Woodinville whiskey, and my newest addition, Bainbridge Island Distilling whiskey barrels. We put a chicken because it's a flight of fermentation fancy. And you'll see on these Orchard Series bottles, we have a different bird for each of our representations. Fire Barrel is one of the first highfalutin bittersweet ciders that Fin River ever started making. It's close to my heart. And you'll notice the color difference coming from those tannic apples. Rich and golden, where the forest ginger is edgy and refreshing, the Fire Barrel is thoughtful and deep and thicker and wants a bit of steak or heavier fare to pair up with it.
I always think foods that have been sort of inflamed, barbecue,
Yeah.
and broiled, and
Put some fire on
richer
it.
things. Yeah.
Take another one of those.
Oh yeah.
One of my all-time favorites. A really nice balance of smooth and round and creamy. All day long, that one. So, the Crew Selection line, to finish off this Barn Swallow tasting, saffron cream. Initially, the idea with the name came off thinking like a dreamsicle, like one of those orange creamsicle kind of popsicles. I think they were old Good Humor kind of things. Actually, something my dad really used to love, and I was thinking about that. And that is nothing like what this cider came out as. It is an alternative ferment, and it has a bit of lactobacillus pushing into it, meaning not a traditional yeast to make the fermentation. but it didn't twang in the way that I often will see lacto ferments twang out. And so it doesn't zing you here and here, but it is hearty in a different fashion. And in that same touch, we back sweetened with lactose, and that gives it this absolutely kind of silky mouthfeel that is decadent and downright creamy. And you cannot see the silky texture that I'm talking about, which is disappointing.
But they'll be able to taste it.
But you will be able to taste it. And so this is a derivation of Finn River Solstice Saffron, which we usually release in the deep of winter. And this saffron cream has aged in with oak staves floating in it, and has the same addition of fennel, but the fennel and the lactose play on your tongue in a way that is just craving good cheese and figs and balsamic vinegar. It's an interesting play, and when I push into these cruise selections, I'm really trying to share ideas of the palate and of the season. And it took this long to put the saffron cream together. It's been almost a year in process coming out, and I think that kind of depth and complexity shows through. I hope you enjoy it very much.
Thanks, y'all. Cheers.